You're welcome to follow along as I do my Element of Art book. First we'll be doing the cover, next page will be line, and then color. On your first page, you are going to write down line. L-I-N-E. Go ahead and draw a line underneath there. Your next page is going to be color. C-O-L-O-R. Color. Make sure you put the numbers. Under line, you're going to be drawing 4 different lines. Make it as colorful as you want. So first, I'm going to do zigzag. Next, I might do wavy. Let's see. Alright. Next, I might do, let's think about this. A dotted line. Or I can do diagonal. Cover the entire page using line. Alright, so that one's done. Next we have color. Here you're going to draw something that reminds you of color. I'm going to do balloons. I recently saw Winnie the Pooh and it just made me think of balloons. So we have balloons. Maybe they overlap. Here are my balloons, and now I'm going to color them in. Alright, so for our first 2 pages we have line, a dot that went for a walk, and color. Under color, I use mostly primary and secondary colors. My medium was mixed media because I use both markers and crayons. When you use more than one medium, that is called mixed media. So let's say you're doing a painting and you did a watercolor painting, but you also had crayons for small details. So on your artist statement, you're going to be writing down, I used mixed media. Next we have shape and form. Shape will go on page 3 and form on 4. It really does not matter what order you do it in, as long as you have all 7 elements there. I just think it makes more sense to do it in order so we are all on the same page. So we have shape and form. And again, I'll underline it all the way across. Under shape, divide your page in 2. On one side, you'll do organic. O-R-G-A-N-I-C. Next, we have geometric. G-E-O-M-E-T-R-I-C. Organic and geometric. Organic shapes are shapes that you see in nature, such as flowers, plants, clouds, animals. You and I are actually organic shapes because we're a sort of animal. All right, so under organic, I'm gonna draw maybe the bird, just the outline of a bird. That will be one. I can do maybe some flowers now. Another one will be just a free form kind of cloud shape or popcorn. That's organic. Let's take another one. I can do grass. These are all organic shapes. Maybe a leaf. Okay, that's organic. On this side, you're going to be drawing geometric shapes. So I might do a triangle, a circle. Circle can be confusing because the moon is circular. Technically, it is geometric, but on some days when it's a full moon, a circle could be classified as geometric. Stars that are drawn like this are geometric. But if you have like little tiny dots in the sky, those will technically be organic. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to draw maybe a rectangle and a square. And you're going to color those in too. Next, we have page 5 and 6. On page 5, you'll write texture. Again, if you do have it out of order, don't worry about it. Just make sure you have all 7 elements in your book somewhere. Then we have value. Texture is how something feels. There are 2 types of texture. There is implied I-M-P-L-I-E-D, implied, and actual. Okay. Under implied texture, choose one object, something that feels funny. It can be a blanket, it can be the wood, it can be a tree, or maybe a leaf. And you're going to draw it, and then using different lines show how it feels. Okay. I think I'm going to do a leaf. Okay, so I drew my leaf. Next, I'm going to use line to show how it feels. Let's see. Leaves are different depending on the leaves you do. I'm going to use mostly, let's see, diagonal lines. Let's use colored pencils this time. By adding color and line, it suggests the rough texture of the leaf. dots in close together. It's a bumpy leaf. Alright, there's the leaf. Under actual texture, you're going to cut out a piece of magazine. It can be paper. We have lots of construction paper here, so if you forget your candy wrapper, just use some paper, cut it up, and glue it here. You can cut out a shape. Alright, on to value. This one will be the hardest thing you do. The rest will be super easy. Alright. Under value, value is the lightness and darkness of a color or shape. Artists use value to make something look more realistic. We kind of did that here with form. This is actually value. Without really you did value. This here is called value. So the light is coming from this side. Notice how this is darker than that? That means the light is shining on this part right here. The rest is in shadow. The shadow's right here. Lightness is over here. Okay. I'll leave actual for later. Start off with, you're going to draw a nice big circle. Okay, just like that. Next, we're going to draw a little zigzag line here to let you know, okay, this is where the light is coming from. All this part here is going to be light. The shadow will be cast right around here. Next step, you're going to shade in the shadow. This will be your darkest part. We're going to be starting from dark to light. Shade it in, side to side. I've noticed some people doing this. That works too, but you want to follow the shape of your drawing. So the circle's going this way, its shadow will be facing that way too. So follow that line and do curved lines just like that. At this point, take a break for your pencil and take your finger and rub it together. You don't want to be so dark. So that's good. And we continue doing that. Color it in. Take a break and shade. Keep doing this so you cover the entire thing. Alright, shadow's done. This is all pretty even now, but you want to go in and make sure the corner here is the darkest part of your drawing. That's where the circle is on it, the shadow. So it'll be the darkest part. Alright, now we're going to shade in the circle. To do that, make sure you hold your pencil like so, with just 2 fingers. Usually you hold the pencil like this and color it in. You want it to be far away from you so you can shade it. Alright, so hold it like so, and you're going to shade it back and forth. Follow the shape of the circle. Back and forth. At this point, you might want to go sharpen your pencil. If it's too dull, it needs to be sharp. Back and forth, back and forth. Take your dirty finger and blend it together. You'll be doing this around the entire thing. Alright. Follow that shape. Alright, you got your first layer done. It's a nice even gray, but that's still pretty light. You want this part here to be the lightest part, but not so stark. So now we're going to start over and do dark to light. This part here will be dark. It gets dark, dark, dark. It gets lighter and lighter as you go to the top. So this will be a medium gray. This will be your darkest gray. Alright? So we'll start off with the second layer here. Just follow that shape. Notice how I'm coloring in my circle using circular motions. I'm not going like this. I'm making circular motions. The reason you do that is just softer. When you do it with your pencil, it turns out softer and it's easier to blend. So you want to do circular motions, not scribbles, okay? And you blend it together. That's coming along very nicely. All right. We're going to make this one a little bit darker. That's a good gray. It's a medium gray. This part needs to be a little bit darker. Blend it together. And we'll keep doing that. You'll be doing that all the way on top, and then once you're done, we're going to go back with the eraser and give it some highlights. Alright, this is still pretty even. You want this to be the darkest part, and then it gradually gets lighter as you go up. So I'm going to go in now and just give it a little bit more darkness here on the corner. That's what you want. Alright, so this part's done. Now we're going to go ahead and give this a highlight. 1 second. Just take the edge of your eraser and you're going to move it around just like that. To give it a nice highlight where the light's shining on top. And we'll blend it together so it's not so stark. Do it again. The lightest part will be here on the top where the light is. This is why I like using kneadable erasers. I don't know if some of you remember that. Last year I had this kind of piece of clay on the desk. It looked like clay, gray clay, but it's actually eraser. I love those. This is what I would use that for, is to make the nice highlights. They're great blending tools also. Alright, so this is done. Next up, we're going to color in the background. It's up to you what color you want to use. I'm going to use purple because purple and yellow are complementary colors, so they go well together. When you mix your complementary colors, that also makes a formal brown. So you can't, I know it's kind of hard to see in the video, but when I go over the yellow, it makes a brown. Okay, let's go ahead and speed this video up. At this point, you should be done with your zine with the exception of texture. We haven't done actual texture yet. We'll get to that. On your cover, write elements of art, decorate it any way you want. Make sure your name is here on the bottom somewhere. Alright, first page is line. Line. L-I-N-E. Okay? A line is a dot that went for a walk. Alright, underneath here, you're going to draw 4 different lines. Next, we have color. Underneath here, draw me something that will help you remember color. It can be your secondary and primary colors. You could do red plus yellow equals orange. You could do blue plus yellow equals green. It's up to you. I went ahead and did the balloons. So I did blue and yellow together. Blue and yellow together makes green. Here I have red and yellow makes orange. And then over here we have green again, because I love turquoise. Alright, next page. Page 3. Shape. There are 2 types of shapes, organic and geometric. Under organic, you'll be drawing organic shapes. Under geometric, geometric shapes. Here we have form. Form is a 3D shape or figure. You can draw a figure using shapes and lines, or you can draw 3D shapes. Alright, next we have texture. Texture is how something feels. There are 2 types of texture in art. Implied, I-M-P-L-I-E-D, and actual. Implied texture is when you use different lines and colors to suggest how something might feel on a flat paper. Actual texture is when you use actual paper, or you could do, there are some really cool paints that I have at home that I haven't used in a while, but there's this paint that dries that feels like sand. So when you touch the painting, it feels like actual sand on the beach. So that will be a good example of actual texture. Okay, for this part here, I'm going to go ahead and cut out a Mickey Mouse and glue that down. If you forget to bring candy wrappers or whatever, we have magazines here at the art room. Just ask for them, and we also have a whole bunch of construction paper you can use. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just cut out the Mickey Mouse. Alright, so I cut out a little sheet for actual texture. Just going to dot it right here. There. Don't need a lot of glue. Place it face down here. If you have candy wrappers, you can glue that, or magazines. That's it. And you're done. That's all you're doing. I'm going to leave this open so it dries. Okay.